Hi everyone, Paul Morbid here, Morbid Team Entertainment and Bolex Repair Philippines. So I got in this Fujica Single-8 P105 and it should serve me well as a stunt camera. It's very small, it is metal, but it is light. And you can just, for those of you who don't know, just remove the front and there you are. All I did was essentially, just to make sure, I had to remove the bottom here to check the batteries, the battery compartment. Alright, so this was clean here. All around there it was clean. All I did was just go ahead and I took a diamond file and just went around the perimeter. There was right here, around this part at the end of my pencil eraser, some corrosion, some light corrosion. So I just removed it with this diamond file, went around. All right. Next, I checked this one. Here, just to make sure it wasn't corroded. Still had a battery in it, that type of a thing. Let me flip this around. There we go. Should be open this side. Around again. Side's open, Paul. Alright. So open it up. Clean, which is amazing. Usually you don't get that. Inside of here, you can see as well, clean as well also. So I really lucked out there. Alright. This area of the battery compartment was clean too. So all I had to do is go ahead and put the batteries in. Now the lock and run is right here. In the center by my pencil eraser is your shutter button. So if you turn it this way to the L, that's for lock. We turn it the other direction, this is for run. You'll see the little red dot right up under my pencil eraser that sets itself right to the R. Alright. To open this camera, this Fujica, they open just like pretty much any of the other ones. Lift it up, the key, turn it, and pull it straight back. Then I can press the shutter button here, for those of you who don't know, by my pencil eraser. But at any rate, you can see everything operating. So I got me another camera. Needed one for some stunt work, and there I've got it. Close it the same way. It actually has instructions on the front. Close, the arrow there, open that way. Alright, so that battery corrosion was around one of the posts here. I actually just found some more, just a little bit. And again, I used a diamond file and just went around it, just like that. Later you can clean this off with rubbing alcohol, anything like that. All right. The only slight problem I'm having here, which is not surprising, is inside the viewfinder, and it's really, really dirty. So I'm going to attempt to go ahead and check that out, see if I can open it up and clean it. But first, before I do that, I'm going to do it on the outside of the lens and the diopter right here. Okay, so the alcohol I'm using is 99%. You don't want to use anything under 89% as it contains too much water. All right, take that off to the side. So no big surprise here. Just put some on the end of a Q-tip, but before you do that, this one you can just turn this right here on the front of the lens counterclockwise, and it unscrews right off. All right. Now I can just go down in here, clean this. Well, that looks fairly clean. All right. All right, doesn't seem too bad there. In fact, let's do this. Yeah, not that made a difference, but that part is dirtier than the lens, right? On the outside. I'm surprised there. All right. Put this back on. Turn it counterclockwise, of course. Not too tight as not to crack anything. Next, on the end of my cotton swab, I have some rubbing alcohol. I'm going to go ahead and clean this eyepiece, this diopter. It looks dirty from what I can tell. So I'm looking at, yes. Wondering if I see any chips or cracks, or if that's just dirt. I'm about to find out. Okay. All right, so there's a screw here, Phillips, and here at the end of my pencil eraser. And we're going to go ahead and check this out. See how much more deeper we got to go inside of here to get this clean. All right. Remove this plate. Just like so. That's all it is. And this is what we got in here. Inside the viewfinder. So next I'm going to check and see if I've got any dirt, which I'm sure it is, anything inside. Okay, next you will have, at the end of my pencil eraser, 1, 2, 3 very tiny, teeny flathead screws to remove. As you see with mine, it could be a little corroded or rusted in. You have to work it out slowly, but be careful. You don't want to strip those heads on those small things. All right. All right, so we're going to turn this unit around. I'm going to pay close attention to these glass elements. There's one here. Get closer. There we go. This one here, the end of my pencil eraser, and here, okay? This part right here, this element, take note of it, of its orientation, okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it out. I can do so. Just hold my fingers here and let that part just slide out in my hand. And I'll show you what I've done. Okay. And yes, by the way, wear your choice of white cotton gloves or latex, so your fingers will not destroy the glass. Okay. So when you reinstall this, it needs to be just like this. Okay? You can even sit it around somewhere on your table. Just like that, to make sure you put it back in properly. So this right here, we're going to clean it. Next, with these glass elements, I can just really reach down in here and pull these straight up. Okay, notice the orientation. See it there at the bottom? That's an entire prism. So you can line everything up as I have it up here at the top of the screen. Just like so, because that's how it's going to go back in. Just like that. I'm going to take around in here, see if there's any dirt, which I'm sure there is, and clean that as well. Alright, so right now we're going to clean these. And again, wear your white cotton gloves or your choice of latex, so oils of the fingers not destroy the glass. On the end of the Q-tip is just simply more alcohol. Got some coming off there. Some dirt. Who knows? Some of that could be glue. Edges of this. Wow, there's some dirt that time. You can kind of see that on there, but I really got some dirt that time. Stack that up just like it would go back inside. And it's time now to turn the cotton swab around. Okay. And the paint coming off. Might have to add some to it. Okay, since it's coming off there, use a new Q-tip. Alcohol is pretty strong for that paint. Okay. This section owes the ends. There we go. I'm going to let this dry. But I want to make sure it gets dry on the bottom as well. There. Okay. So there we go. Let that dry. Okay, while those glass elements are drying, I'm going to remove this piece of metal. There we go. Get you out of the way. Turn you over so you can get dry on the other side as well. All right. Q-tip. There you are. And alcohol. All right. There is a glass element, as I'm sure you can see at the end of my pencil eraser right there. Clean that. Nothing so far. Clean inside of here. Where that prism goes. Get down here to show you what I'm doing. Okay, this area up in here. And even inside here. All the way around. Close the door. All right, next, clean this piece of metal, rubbing alcohol. This is to prevent any type of corrosion, fungus. These vintage cameras on the glass elements, you can bet there's some fungus there. You don't want it to get inside of the elements. Once the fungus is inside the elements, that's it. They're ruined. All right. Okay. I'm just going to simply put this back together, and then I'm going to test and see how clear it is. If it's not that clear, if I've still got some trash, it means I'll have to go further to the lens. Okay, so even though we did that work right there, when looking through the viewfinder right here, it's still dirty, okay? Which is not too much of a surprise, understanding there wasn't too much dirt from the area that was cleaned. So I've got to go deeper into the lens area. Okay, I've once again removed the glass elements here because I've got to remove this front cover. And a part of being dirty inside, I don't want to get this and the glass elements dirty again. I'll probably have to clean this again, but I do not want to have to clean the elements again. Alright, so Phillips. All right, so this time I can remove my glove for now. Turn this around, and if you're doing this at shelf, just pull it easy from the bottom to top. If you have to, use something like a flathead screwdriver and you can kind of open that just a bit, that type of thing. Any type of anything with a flat surface. Easy. And this just pulls right off. Okay, so got some corrosion here, not a surprise. Inside of this plate needs to be cleaned. Some corrosion up here. The lens. See if I can clean back behind here at the end of my pencil eraser. Let's see here. Some more light on the subject. Yep, just some cleaning. Hopefully all will be well with that. Okay. I can get it right up in here. All right, so next I'm gonna start cleaning up on the back of the lens. Okay, and I've got some alcohol in this pipe cleaner. Stick this right over here. Mind the, yes, ever so gently. Another element right back here. Okay. The rest of this is just gently cleaning everything. That's what it's going to be. I can just go ahead and continue this and get back and show you the progress. Okay, so I got some cleaning done. As you can see, everything looks better. All right. I took some graphite grease here and lubed the gears inside, some of them in there, by the end of my pencil razor. All right. And the side of the plate is clean. Okay. I'll have to add some foam here. The nasty images to the viewfinder are still there. So I took my jeweler's loop, looked inside of here, and there's either a lot of trash or fungus. So actually I did clean up inside of here and on the side. If you'll notice, there's a bit of an opening at the end of my pencil eraser right there. Okay, get that in focus. So what I did, I took a pipe cleaner with alcohol and ran right through there, okay, and that opening with some rubbing alcohol on it, you know, just right up in there, you know, just like so. Okay, clean it up in there just like that. I really don't want to dismantle this, but the main thing is I use my jeweler's loop and looked up on the side of this glass element, and it's true that it is fungus. It's a good bit of it. So there's nothing I can do until I have another part. It's really not bothering anything at all, but I'm going to have to shine a UV light on here to go ahead and destroy this fungus. Otherwise it's going to spread to the prisms and everything else and the other glass elements. Okay, so once I find another piece, that other element, I can go ahead and change this out. But for right now, it's not bothering anything, and it would be more trouble to get into it than it's worth. Alright, so for now I can do some more touch-ups and reassemble the camera. Okay, so I cut some foam and put it up in here to replace the old stuff at the end of my pencil eraser here. Alright, and up here this glass element, put some tape back around it like it was back on there before. I'll remove this later and dismantle it later to shine a UV light up in here for several hours to go ahead and destroy the fungus. Okay, the fungus looks like it's inside the glass element, so it can't be cleaned. It had to be replaced. I had to find a new part. Alright, so when that time comes is when I'll do the work. Okay, actually again I blew the bulb up inside of here, get some dust out of there, and would you believe a spider actually jumped out of there? I'm not kidding, small spider. Alright, so I'm going to keep on reassembling this, and by the way, it's easier to put this on here, this plate, when it's set to R for run. As you see here, R to run, and then the red dot right there at the end of my pencil eraser. Alright, so you'll see this inside of here. And here here's the mechanism here at the end of my pencil eraser. Alright, so take this, go ahead and start sliding it on. Okay, so that's it. All I gotta do now is add the screws in. And don't get these too tight, it could crack the housing here, okay? All right, next. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray paint flat black the sides of this prism right here, because as we saw before, it was very thin. So I got it wrapped up in tape, the parts that the viewfinder is going to use, okay? And we're going to spray paint both sides here. All right. Okay, so next I'll start removing the tape from the prism. And there we can see all the way around it. Okay, now that I've loaded the elements in here, both the prisms in here through the viewfinder, it's just a simple task of going ahead, putting the plate back on and putting the screws back in there. All right. Okay, so with all the screws put back in and everything ready to go, the exception of the part that I got to replace, and putting this under the UV light, this glass element up here, so the fungus will not spread throughout the other elements. I do have a Fujica stunt camera, and that's good. nice and light and should serve me well. So there you have it. Make sure, as always, before you film with a camera that you just get, that you have it sent off to get a new CLA, clean, lubed, and adjustment. And if you do it yourself and you work on your camera yourself, you feel confident enough, that's also good, because the more that you know about your camera and on the inside, the better you can become familiar with it and understand it. All right? Do contact me at the social media outlets provided on the screen, and remember, as always, do subscribe. Until next time, see ya.